What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today we're going to take a look at the final film before we get into the culmination of this whole buildup, 2021's Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Olga Kurylenko, William Hurt, Ray Winstone, Rachel Weisz, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today we take a look at the last film before we get to the Infinity War and the Endgame, the huge two-part culmination of this epic film journey we've been on. Now, as I touched on yesterday, when I first started doing the planning for this month, I went off the reports that I had read that said that Black Widow was the last film before Infinity War. However, as time went on and spoilers started to come out about the film, keep in mind, I booked this month prior to the July 9th release. And I saw the film. I realized that we're reviewing it in the wrong spot. It should have gone Age of Ultron, Civil War, Black Widow, and then Spider-Man Homecoming, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Infinity War. But such is life. I didn't know. I went off the early reports of what I read. Mistake. I apologize. Let's get into it, though, shall we? Still looking forward because this is the first new release film that I've covered since the relaunch of Renegades Reviews. The first film I'm reviewing while it's still in theaters around the world. And if you haven't seen it yet, maybe watching this, my review, will get you to go see it. Our film opens in 1995, so the beginning of it takes place around the same time as the events of Captain Marvel, as Russian undercover agents Alexei Shostakov, a super soldier, and Melina Vostokov, a Black Widow, pose as a family in Ohio with their surrogate daughters, Natasha Romanoff and Yelena Belova. After completing their mission to steal SHIELD intel, they escape to Cuba and rendezvous with their boss, General Dreykov, who has Romanoff and Belova taken to the Red Room for training. Years pass, during which Shostakov is imprisoned in Russia, while Romanoff defects to SHIELD after bombing Dreykov's Budapest office, supposedly killing him as well as his young daughter, Antonia. We then jump ahead to 2016, immediately following the events of Civil War, and Romanoff is a fugitive in violation of the Sokovia Accords. She is able to escape the U.S. Secretary of State, Thaddeus Ross, and flees to a safe house in Norway supplied by Rick Mason. Meanwhile, Belova kills a former Black Widow who has gone rogue. But when Belova comes in contact with a synthetic gas that neutralizes the Red Room's chemical mind control agent, she becomes a free woman. Belova then sends the antidote vials to Romanoff, hoping that she will send it to the Avengers to help free the other widows. When Romanoff unknowingly drives off with the vials, the Taskmaster attacks, seeking them. Romanoff manages to escape the Taskmaster and realizes that the vials were sent to her by Belova. The two sisters reunite in Budapest, where Natasha learns that Dreykov is still alive and that the Red Room is still active. Romanoff and Belova are able to evade a group of widows and the Taskmaster before meeting up with Mason once again, who supplies them with a helicopter. Natasha and Yelena break Alexei out of prison in an attempt to learn Dreykov's location. Alexei tells the girls that they should seek out their mother, Melina, who lives on a farm outside of St. Petersburg, where she developed the mind control chemical that is used on the widows. When the family reunites and everyone speaks to how they weren't really a family, Yelena gets emotional, stating that she always believed that they were. Afterwards, Melina admits that she sent their location to Dreykov, and his agents arrive to capture them and take them to the Red Room, now an aerial facility. Melina and Natasha use face mask technology to swap places before being captured, allowing Melina to free Alexei and Yelena from their restraints. Meanwhile, Natasha confronts Dreykov, who sees through her disguise. It is revealed to Romanoff that the Taskmaster is none other than Antonia, Dreykov's presumed dead daughter, who as a result of the explosion suffered damage severe enough that Dreykov put a chip in her head. This made her the perfect soldier, capable of mimicking the actions of anyone she sees. Romanoff attempts to kill Dreykov, but fails to harm him due to a pheromone lock which is installed into every widow. Dreykov reveals that he can control the widows worldwide via his desk console, so Romanoff intentionally breaks her nose in order to negate the pheromone and then attacks Dreykov. Alexei battles the Taskmaster while Melina takes out one of the facility's engines, and Yelena searches for the other widows, who have been sent to protect Dreykov. Together, Alexei and Melina are able to lock the Taskmaster into a cell. Dreykov escapes as the widows attack Romanoff, but Yelena is able to create an antidote bomb that releases the widows from the mind control. Natasha gets into the control desk and copies the locations of the other widows worldwide as the facility begins to explode and fall. Natasha retrieves the 2 remaining vials of the antidote and frees the Taskmaster from her cell. Alexei and Melina escape via a plane just as Yelena takes out Dreykov's helicopter, killing him. Natasha jumps, free-falling, and gives Yelena a parachute before battling the Taskmaster. After landing, Natasha uses the antidote on the Taskmaster, freeing Antonia from her servitude. The freed widows then arrive as Yelena, Alexei, and Melina say goodbye to Natasha. Natasha then gives Yelena the final antidote vial and the portable drive, telling her to find and free the other widows. As Alexei, Yelena, and Melina leave with Antonia, Natasha awaits Ross and his men, who have arrived to apprehend her. 2 weeks later, Natasha reunites with Mason, who supplies her with a Quinjet. She leaves with intent to free the imprisoned Avengers who are aboard the raft prison. Our post-credits scene takes place after Avengers Endgame, as Yelena visits Natasha's grave. Yelena is approached by Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine at Romanoff's gravesite and gives Yelena her next mission: to take out Clint Barton, whom she tells Yelena is responsible for Natasha's death. As we know, Clint is not responsible. Someone had to make a sacrifice, a soul for a soul. We'll get to that more in detail when we discuss Endgame in a couple days. But I like how they brought the Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine into this. She obviously debuted a little bit earlier this year in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. But I wonder if this was supposed to be her original debut, and because everything got pushed back because of coronavirus, delays, not wanting to release it on Disney Plus and losing out on the box office, etc., if they shot this scene once she was cast for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier in order to tie that with this, or if this was the post-credit scene intended all along. Something I've been scratching my head about ever since I saw this on the weekend that it opened. I'm really glad that Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, finally got a solo film. And although we didn't get too much into detail with Budapest and what happened between Clint and Natasha there's still a chance to explore that when we get the Hawkeye series either later this year or early next year. I forget when it's supposed to debut on Disney Plus. But I do like how this sets up the fact that Yelena will probably pop up at some point in the Hawkeye series to try to take out Clint Barton. And hopefully he will be able to win Yelena over to his side, much like how I believe the rumor was Clint was sent to kill Natasha in Budapest, but he saved her and brought her to S.H.I.E.L.D. I hope something similar happens with Yelena during the Hawkeye series, and maybe that's how we will get the full story of what happened with Clint and Natasha in Budapest. And hopefully even maybe get a Scarlett Johansson cameo in the Hawkeye series for that flashback episode if they go there. I'm not the biggest David Harbour fan. I have seen Stranger Things. I didn't get as swept up in it as other people did. His turn as Hellboy, which I still haven't seen, I heard sucked big time. But I thought that he did really good in this role as Alexei, also known as the Red Guardian, Russia's only super soldier, very much akin to Russia's version of Captain America. I enjoyed him in this film. Rachel Weisz. I have not seen Rachel Weisz do anything. Now, I have looked into her filmography, and she has been active since what I'm about to mention. But I personally have not seen Rachel Weisz in a film since The Mummy Returns, which was the feature film debut of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So I find it interesting that she ties back to that, having been the last thing that I saw. And we all now know what Dwayne's Hollywood career has exploded into as a result of that film. Florence Pugh, another Dwayne Johnson reference. I know for having played the role of Paige in Fighting with My Family, which starred Dwayne Johnson in a cameo, and his production company also produced it. So I think that's an interesting, a lot of stuff here in the Black Widow film ties back to wrestling. I just find that very interesting. When it comes to my rating of Black Widow, I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. It definitely wasn't 5-star material, but I liked what they set up with it. I like where they went with it. I like the little loose end at the end there for where we're going to go now that this film has been done. Obviously, it's not going to get any sequels because Natasha is now dead. But I like what they did with it and how they were able to place it into the greater MCU timeline. What do you guys out there think? Did you guys enjoy Black Widow? If you're watching the premiere, tell me what you think. Leave your comments here. If you're watching on demand, let me know down here. Whatever you do, though, get out there on the social media. Let's get those hashtags trending, people. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatBoyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get you your Renegade JJ Williams shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag StatBoyApproved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official merchandise of the Jeff Meacham Network, 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, so much more. It's summertime, beach bonfires, pool parties, barbecues. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. Score you a tank top. You can choose between the Renegade JJ Williams or Meachamania. Either one is the perfect accessory for those hot summer days and those hot summer nights. Make sure you get out there, show your love and support. While you're showing your love and support, do what that ticker tells you to do. Do you enjoy my content, my daily videos? Go to that PayPal, send me a few dollar donation. Keep in mind, I'm not monetized, so the only way I'm going to make a few bucks is if you out there go to the link on the bottom of the ticker and send me a couple buck donation. If you guys don't want to send any money, that's cool. Go to the Linktree link that scrolls on the bottom of the screen. Click on the link for my Amazon movie wish list. Send me a movie. When it arrives and I open it on Renegade Recap, I'll give you guys a shout out. Thank you for purchasing a film. And likewise, when I factor it into one of my theme months and can actually sit down, watch the movie, and review it, I'll give you another shout out. And I'll show you guys the same amount of love and support that you guys show me. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As like I said during the intro, we begin the culmination of all these films, Avengers Infinity War from 2018, starring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, Don Cheadle, Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Tom Hiddleston, Idris Elba, Peter Dinklage, Benedict Wong, Tom Clementif, Karen Gillian, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Gwyneth Paltrow, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, Chris Pratt, Dania Gurria, Letitia Wright, William Hurt, Winston Duke, Jacob Botplon, Kobe Smulders, and Samuel L. Jackson. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, and another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews when I begin the two-part Infinity War saga. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there watching along with the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you guys. All my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every one of my loyal fans and viewers that tune in on a daily basis and support me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.